Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is Ryan Aranda here, my best like Paraguay. And today we are joined by one and only the Hispanic expat, Aaron Equihua. You guys already know who he is. We've had three conversations already, and this is going to be our fourth. And I'll just give a little bit of a background, if Aaron doesn't mind, about Aaron himself. So Aaron, well, I guess we'll skip to now. He's been in Paraguay he did a 3 week trip. He just got his temporary residency. His cedula should be arriving. Uh, Pretty much a residency card should be arriving in the mail for him in the next month or so. So that was the point of Aaron's trip down here. We also had a lot of fun, you guys. Me and him and his pops Polo, right, and our other buddy Simon, and then other people as well, and my family, and it was a great time. And Aaron's gonna jump into that and his thoughts about his time here, society here. And yeah, I mean, me and Aaron were talking for a long time off the camera right before this. So we'll try to give you guys the best breakdown that we can of Aaron's trip. And yeah, so, you know, uh, if you don't mind, Aaron, I'll just give a little bit of a breakdown of what we talked about in the last conversation. So Aaron is 26 or 27? 27.
27.
You're 27. Okay. And you've been to Spain. You have dual citizenship in Mexico and the U.S. You've been to El Salvador, and Paraguay is now your fourth, or have you been to other countries as well?
In total, I've been to Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, we've
Okay.
done it, Italy, El Salvador. So technically, in Panama, right? I
Okay.
also, right? But Paraguay would be at seventh country.
Okay. So very well traveled, you guys. And so Aaron, like a lot of expats, has went through a process of elimination and came up with Paraguay, right? I found my channel, found one of my first less than 20 subscribers at the beginning. I'm sitting over 1,000 now. We've stayed connected. Aaron's a great friend of mine. If you guys don't know that, watch past conversations that we've had. Some really fun ones, some really deep ones about society and the state of the world and America and the Western world versus Latin America, and a projection for life and investments and where to buy land and property and cost of living, culture, absolutely everything we've covered in past videos. So, make sure that you go check out the conversation on my channel, but also get over to Aaron's channel. Make sure that you check out the Hispanic Expat, you guys. And because Aaron's also taking a different approach to the things. He was doing more of the office thing that I was doing back in the States, but you're going to be pursuing merchant mariner stuff, which is essentially contracting on ships, bringing stuff to and from countries and places and ports, that kind of thing. So that's literally what you're doing right now in San Diego, which is 2 hours where you live. And so that's where Aaron is at. And I'm sorry, I know I'm speaking a lot for you, but just to give people a breakdown, right? A quick breakdown before we dive straight into Paraguay and your time here. But if there's anything you want to add about your history, Aaron, just personal life that you want people to know. Otherwise, we can jump straight into our conversation about Paraguay, your time here for a little over 3 weeks with your dad, and yeah. So go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you, Ryan. Thank you for that intro too. Um, I mean, pretty much well said from my friend Ryan. Um, I've always loved travel, right? I've traveled since I was a kid all throughout Mexico in my early years. Um, and it really, I think the one trip that really changed me was my trip in Spain when I studied abroad. And that was right before 2020. So after that, I just really had a wanderlust for travel and stuff like that. And also expanding my opportunities, like for investment, for real estate, you know, all those good things with my dual citizenship in Mexico and now with Paraguay. Paraguay, it's always been on my radar I want to say I've heard of Paraguay for the last 7 years, 8 years, but I really started looking into Paraguay in the last 3 to 4 years. And that's not until I took it serious. And then I found Ryan's channel when he first started. So I'm ready to go ahead and discuss our time with Paraguay and whatever else we share on this podcast, on this video. So
Yeah, absolutely, you guys. Yeah, and if you guys want more context about Aaron's life, he was also interviewed by Jose Arteaga Travels. I believe that's his new name to his channel now, or Jose Arteaga in Mexico. I'm not sure his new name, but watch that if you guys want more information on Mexican residency as well. So, you know, real quickly, I'll just say that, Aaron's a very relatively young guy, and he has 3 residencies in the world, right? And a lot of people don't even have 2, let alone 3, right? And that's something that'll set Aaron up for the rest of his life. It'll give him more options for what he's talking about, for investing, for buying property, land, anything, right? But also for retirement. you know,
hundred
uh,
percent.
yeah, I stress that all the time, you guys, all the time. I stress that, you know, if nothing else, residency in a lower cost of living country guarantees you, if you do the right steps, you get a nice humble place. If you're not trying to get the most expensive house in the world, in one of these countries like Paraguay, Panama, Mexico, wherever, and live a good life, right? And not be worried about those years, right? So yeah, I mean, me and Aaron have these conversations off camera all the time. We understand the importance of this. We hope that more people in our circles will get on board, because it's only going to get harder and harder. And Aaron's actually seen that in the last year. Certain new, not necessarily requirements, but government procedures
Government.
that pretty much happen almost every single year now, just making it a little bit harder, a little bit more expensive, a little bit more this. You can't do everything by yourself. You need to do whatever. So we'll save that for another video. We'll talk about the intricacies of residency, getting it here, in a separate video. But we're gonna keep this to more of a humanist. How did you view Paraguay? And also, I want to make the distinction too, that before we get into this, I saw with my own eyes that Aaron had a more, and I'm not trying to be insulting when I say this, right? But Aaron had a more holistic experience, because you are fluent in Spanish. You got to understand off the bat jokes, humor, um, our culture. Even though Mexico is Mexico, Paraguay is Paraguay. There's a lot of similar customs and values and traditions that we have in Latin America in general. So, Aaron's experience is going to be different than somebody who may not even speak the language, right? Or is in the beginning stages of learning the language, right? So, with that being said, keep that in mind. Aaron is fluent in Spanish, right? So I'm just gonna let you start free flow, and then whatever I may think to pick out of what you have to say about Paraguay in general, I'll dive in. But if you can just give an overall vibe of your time here, the people, culture, were you accepted, and just dive into anything you want.
Well, I will say my time in Paraguay, like this trip that I did in Paraguay, um, for me being a first generation American, right, Mexican American, and understanding both American and Hispanic or Mexican culture, Paraguay really felt like, as I've told Ryan before previously, it really felt like a breath of fresh air. Um, just right off the bat, my dad and I, to be sincere, is like our first day or two was kind of a lot for us, right? Because it was, even for myself, being Hispanic, being Mexican and American, it was a culture shock in a way too, because it's South America. I've never touched South America, neither had my dad. And but within the first days, we really noticed how welcoming the people are, the local Paraguayans. I mean, some of the most friendliest people in the world. I mean, so far, I'm not I haven't been to maybe 30 or 50 countries. I've only been to less than 10, but I can say like with confidence, Paraguay really felt like they were welcoming me to their home. From our Uber drivers to the people at the cashiers when we were at restaurants to people on the street selling you avocados. Pretty much in most parts of society, in Paraguayan society, they're just very friendly people. Um, Friendly, but they want to get to know you. And that's a huge difference compared to a lot of countries that I visited before, like in Spain or, Italy, right? Where it's a little different. But Paraguayans, they'll really go as far as, you know, asking you like if you speak the language, right? Me being Hispanic and being fluent in the language, they'll go out of their way to really ask you like where you're from, what's it like in your home country, you know. Even as a Mexican, right? They would tell me like, oh, Chapulín or Chavo del Ocho or Chicharito or Chapo, right? They would say those things, and I would laugh because it was just they they I think they really honed into Mexican culture compared to maybe some of the neighboring countries like maybe Brazil, where they have such a strong culture within their society, or the Argentinians, right, or the Porteños in Buenos Aires, they're very into their culture too, right? Not to say that they don't acknowledge other cultures, right? But I think Paraguayans have, as far as from my personal experience being Mexican, right, and my dad as well being Mexican, is that they have a deep love and a deep respect for Mexican and for the culture and for the food. Um, and I that experience in itself was um like you just like how Ryan was saying. I mean, I it felt very similar, right? Um, on top of that, Paraguay is a small country, and we did get to explore quite a bit of the country. I mean, as Ryan and I will show soon, right, in his next videos, but we did get to see not only the new part of the capital, right, Nueva Asunción, but we went to San Lorenzo, we went to Capiatá, Fernando de la Mora, I believe to Luque. We even went as far as to Areguá, right? So I mean, all in all, Paraguay is just, I fell in love with the country. I really did. The people, um, just like they say, the calidez, the quality of the people is just that. I think that's what makes countries who they are. It's not just the food, it's not just the scenery, it's not just the music. It's a lot more than that is the people, because the people is what makes the country. And I think Paraguay really superseded my unexpected expectations. I really heard, I had always heard of good things from the country. And, I was left speechless, by the time I had to fly back, and I just thought, wow, what a country, like what an experience. And, I am yearning to go back really soon, um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, not that this is all I can say, but just the people, the expats, the ones that we met, just everything, you know. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for that. Just one favor, can you tilt it a little bit more up the mic towards you, the mic.
yeah,
There you go, perfect. And if you can turn it up just a little bit, the microphone.
okay,
Awesome, perfect. Okay, yeah, I just want to, just for mixing purposes later. Okay. Oh man, I have so much stuff to say. So off the bat, yes, Aaron speaks the language. Like I said, well, yes, Aaron has more context being Hispanic. Same with his dad, and all that. But also, what I've told you guys is that the reason that Aaron and his dad had some of the more profound, wonderful experiences of understanding the people on a deeper level than what he just said of the music and food and all that is because Aaron opened up. His dad opened up in the way that they joke around and their storytelling and their willingness to share about their lives. And this is what I tell you guys. You have to build trust with people, and then you're gonna get a better experience. And that could be as simple as telling your story. That could be as explaining, like the Aaron's dad would pull out on his phone. Oh, this is where we're from. Uh, you know, this is what we're about. Oh, you guys have a Buki concert. So if you guys don't know, literally their first night, Los Buki or El Buki, is Marco Antonio Solis. Is that his name?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So very famous singer right out of Mexico, and it's a famous artist that Aaron's dad has seen since pretty much what his teenage years or college year or whatever, young adult years.
Yeah,
Uh,
my parents have seen him, when my dad was in his early 20s and
mhm.
when he started out in his band, Los Bookies in Michoacan, Mexico.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyways, Aaron and his dad hit the ground running, right? Like it straight into culture, and I bring that up because yes, Aaron is Hispanic, but I brought this up not enough, but well, what Aaron also said too is Paraguay does have a great love for Mexico in particular. Um, Mexico, I've tried to explain this to people, and at least here and in a lot of places in Latin America, is kind of like the Hollywood for Latin America. It really is. I mean, like I've seen novelas down here for the last 13 plus years. My family watches it. Your actors are well known. Your music is well known. Everybody and their mama wants to try tacos and the most authentic cuisine out of Mexico.
Hot
Um,
sauce,
eh,
salsas picantes.
yeah, you'll see images of Frida Kahlo on murals and Mexican revolutionaries even down here. I mean, there's Mexico has a special place in people's hearts in Latin America, but especially in Paraguay. It's more historical than that, but so anyways, and also who's saying it? Vance off Latin, My Latin Life. He sees similarities. This is a North American a white guy, right? But he sees similarities in our cultures that he pointed out that he mentioned that some of the most opening, welcoming people, and he's been all over Latin America, are Paraguayans and Mexicans. That's not me saying that. That's him. So when we have this calidez, or uh, what is calidez in English?
Calientes is like
Is that welcoming? Warmth?
calientes is kind of saying like quality.
Oh, quality. Okay, okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Um, there's a certain but it's not like quality like that. It's like whatever. It doesn't matter. But uh, there's similarities in the way that people interact. The Paraguayans, Mexicans, the welcoming culture, uh, and it's and it's just in Latin America. But for somebody on the outside to have that opinion, who's been all over Latin America, who says Paraguay and Mexico, some of the most welcoming, friendly people. Well, there's kind of no wonder that when Mexicans come here and Paraguayans go to Mexico, there's the hermandad, there's a brotherhood there, there's an acceptance, and this is not just me, and even not even just my Latin life. If you guys don't know who El Arte del Nómada is, Eddie, um, he is a very famous Mexican TikToker and YouTuber down here. And the people love him. He started a taqueria out in Ciudad del Este. He's about to start one here in Asuncion, but he talks all the time. And then we actually met him. Um,
Yeah, he was serving tacos de birria.
yeah,
Uh, and that was a fun evening too.
yeah. That was a wonderful day. He threw an event out of a local lomiteria, and yeah, and yeah, that was a wonderful time. But Eddie always says all the time in his TikToks, Paraguay accepts me as a brother. They love the culture. Everybody wants to know everything about my life, and vice versa. They want to teach me about Paraguay. And actually, when Aaron and his pops came for the first day, you can elaborate on this, Aaron. But there was just two gentlemen that we got empanadas late night because they hadn't had nothing to eat for a while off the plane. And we went to the only place, and then we sat down with some Pilsen beers, National Beer of Paraguay, one of them. And then we just had a chat with these two guys, and they were saying everything about the Buki, and because you mentioned that maybe we were going to go to the concert the next day, the following day, and then also like explaining like the beer and how good it is, and Paraguayan history and the Paraguayan women and all kinds of stuff, and like it's
Yeah.
because there's a certain song, right, that I sing all the time, but it's soy con orgullo embajador de mi país. It's like I'm a proud ambassador of my country, and Paraguayans practice that even if they don't travel outside the country to be good recipients and good hosts
Host.
to anybody who even visits the country, and especially if you're from like a country like Mexico. And I know you don't technically live in Mexico, but you're Mexican out of blood. So like you had a certain warm welcoming that I saw, and that you're talking about. So I'll shut up and you keep going. But anyways, I don't want to over explain for you, but if you want to, yeah, just keep going about whatever you want to talk about. Yeah, anything that surprised you for good or for worse, and then we can bring it into other things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, well said, Ryan. I think, you know, I mean, well, that's a really great example that the first night, you know, we got some beers and empanadas. We came in late and we just like, we hit the ground running, my dad and I. And we started to get a feel of like the people, right? The people are just really, they're receptive. I like the one word that I can describe, or one of the words I would describe in Paraguay is that they're receptive if they know that you're not from there, and they'll ask you, or they'll have some sort of curiosity, but it's in a good way. It comes from a good place, most of the time, and from a good heart that, they want to know, where you're from, like, are you visiting? And so we felt that. You can't see it, right? You can't see it or touch it, but you can definitely feel it. That's one of the things I was telling Ryan is that something with Paraguay, with the people, is that, even when I came back home after the 3 weeks, um, just one of the things that I miss about Paraguay right now that I'm not there, is just how the people make you feel. Because, we were coming from far away, to visit Paraguay, for me to see Ryan, to do the residency, all that. But the biggest thing that I was left with coming back home in the States was how they made me feel, right? And that's a huge thing, right? The way people leave an impact on you, right? Ryan's family, the people we met, even the expats that have already settled there, right? They make you feel like as if you're home, right? And even if you're away, they let you know that you can always come back, visit, and spend more time. That's really the biggest thing that I can really draw from my experience. Another thing too, kind of switching directions, is in the countryside. I mean, we got to stay in the capital of Asuncion. And I will say, I've been to quite a few capital cities in certain countries. I will say that Asuncion, for it being a pretty big city, a big capital city, I believe of over 2 million people, maybe close to 3, one of the most tranquil cities that I've been to. Yes, there was traffic, but there was times where we had a rooftop with the pool and stuff, and we were able to just really just hear the birds, see the sunset, um, just kind of take in the stillness at times that the city has, because the city it has its aura, it has its soul, and that's one of the things that I can recall my time there is that even my dad would tell me like, oh, it's quiet, it's tranquil, like and you don't find that in a lot of cities, in a lot of capital cities to begin with. Um, and yeah, I mean, and also the food. Um, I told Ryan this like right off the bat. This like as soon as I was trying the meat there, the beef, hands down some of the best meat I've had so far in my life, like in Paraguay. Even I would even say as good, not better. Maybe Mexico, like Mexico is known for their tacos, right? There's no debate about that. But when it comes to their beef in Paraguay, just incredible. Just like just the flavor, the intensity of it, right? We had the fortunate privilege to actually have an authentic asado paraguayo, right? With Ryan's uncle, right? And just the meat that was cooked by your cousin, right, Ivan, just incredible, incredible. The costilla, chorizo, chaypa yuca or mandioca as they call it, sopa paraguayo, just everything with the food. And not only that, but they want you to try it. Like they were sharing with me their food. Um, that was beautiful. That was beautiful above all else. Um, but yeah, I mean, the people, the sites, the food, and I can see why it's becoming a country that it's drawing certain people in, right? I know at the moment like it's not. I believe if I may be wrong or not, if I may be right or not, but I believe statistically Paraguay is one of the least visited countries in Latin America, right? I think they got like 1 million tourists last year in 2024 or something over 1 million. So it holds a special place in my heart because being there, knowing that, you know, it's at times it's overlooked. Um, but when I was communicating to the people, to the Paraguayans, telling them, hey, like I've been planning to come here for some time now, for some years. I've never been to South America, but I chose Paraguay. And, at times I saw some people kind of like their eyes lit up, like, oh, wow. Like, so, um, yeah, like I'll let you take it from here, Ryan, because I don't know what else to say. But I mean, just really, just a lot of things, right? The concert we went to, the time we went to Areguá, um, the times that I met your family, when we went for the asado, um, you know, just like, and the thing is, there's more for me to explore. I know that once I go back, spend more time there, there's going to be a lot more to see. Obviously, a lot more to see in regards to investment, because that's one of the things I'm looking to as well, as Ryan mentions. Um, because right now, Paraguay is sitting in a position where historically, their government right now is has one of the lowest to GDP ratio, like low inflation. Again, welcoming to foreigners. There's not a lot of that harsh sediment that comes in certain places that's happening right now. And Paraguay is not on everyone's radar, right? That may change in the coming years, but I really feel like Paraguay is a special place at the moment. And I think for the right people with the right intentions, they can really do something in this country for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll touch on that very last point that you mentioned. Paraguay's for the right people. Sitting where I'm sitting at my channel, I get contacted by a lot of people. I'd say the majority are serious people, but there are some people who want to maybe make Asuncion their degenerate haven and don't come here for that, right? I won't engage in that with you. myself, if you want to do that, go contact the other clowns. Come here for a good life. Come here for your best life. Come here for serious reasons, to live, to meet a girlfriend. And believe me, that whole girlfriend thing is hard to, hard to, maybe make work out, right? You might have to have a few before you find the one, like me, right? But seriously, like, and I don't care if you're a player, dude. I don't care, really, truly. If that's your thing, do it. Just be honest with the women. I'm talking about the real degenerate stuff. Okay, so I had to just put that out there. um, but anyways, going back to just how you were received in general. Um, Pretty much people all over the world say the same thing, right? Like I've seen with my own eyes because Aaron and his dad had more authentic experiences than 3 weeks than I've seen a lot of guys have here in 3 years. People who I followed because, well, number one, I'm just going to be completely honest, but like, there's a lot of times where Aaron was with me and my family. They're explaining certain things to him. I mean, like you said, came to an authentic asado. People have been down here for 6, 9, 10, a year, 6 or 9 months up to a year, and they will have very limited experiences. Even when they do have those experiences, they can be very reserved, not too open. Nothing against them, right? It is what it is. Everybody moves at their own pace, but I could see it, and I could see that, even the way that we joke around here in Paraguay, Latin America, there's certain things that like can are just icebreakers. Not even talking about dating, just like icebreakers between people that like as Paraguayans we joke around a ton, right? So like and I do
That's
too,
what I know.
a ton, like off the bat, like, and especially in Guarani. And even I don't understand everything in Guarani. Sometimes I can make out the context of the joke, but like but even in Spanish, right? Castellano, right? But I mean, that's why, you know, Aaron and his dad have had a more profound experience here than a lot of people. Again, I don't mean to compare like that in a negative way. I'm just saying that that's the truth, because Aaron does understand more context of Latin American culture, etc. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, everything you've been saying, is spot on. I mean, I confirm this with other expats too. Uh, also, like I said, I'll just say this one last time, but also Aaron and his dad's willingness to open up as human beings themselves, people trust back in you, and they will treat you better. And then you know what? They'll invite you back better, right? I mean, if you kind of sit in the circle, stay calladito, if you stay a little quiet, it'll be like, oh, well, okay, he was nice, but invite the other ones. Invite the other ones that talk more, are more lively, are more a little this, that, And again, I know that there are language barriers, but I'm just saying, like, even if there are language barriers, like our other friend, our other buddy Simon, um, he doesn't speak as much Spanish, but he's very outgoing, right? And they're like, "Oh, where's Simon?" Right? Like, "Oh, we got to see Simon again," right?
Jordan.
Yeah, that's why we're the Three Musketeers of Paraguay. Man, bro, I be giving so many fucking names to us. Who knows what the fuck we are anymore? No. Anyways, but yeah, man, I don't know. Me and Aaron had a great time, and I want us to dive into something I know Aaron can't like or whatever. I want us to dive into because this is important, especially for the guys listening, which is mostly guys who listen to me. Not because I try to be that way. It's just how the statistics play out, or the analytics. I mean, but you know, women here are very beautiful, right? Hands down, right? Every expat has said that. Every even women admit it when they come here. Like, yeah, women are gorgeous in Paraguay, right? But it's beyond just their physical beauty. It's the way that they present themselves, like how they receive you. They're
How they
openness.
carry themselves.
Yeah, right. So I do want you to or to on God damn it, I'm thinking this man on behalf of you and your father. Please give us your testimony of just women in general, their beauty. Where were they kind? Were they, or did they hate you? Were they standoffish? Were they I don't know, in your eyes, were they overly uh, whatever, this or that, kind of like maybe back in the Western world, or were they more pleasant? Like, you just give us your 2 cents on that if you can.
Definitely, I will. Um, so right off the bat, my dad and I did notice, like our first days, is that there are very attractive women in Paraguay, right? And um, the women obviously, like, very, as far as very presentable. One of the words that I like, that I was telling Ryan pretty much most of the time, when whether we were at the mall, the restaurants, when we would ask for directions, just anything, was that they were socially receptive. Um, we didn't get any. We didn't get any, as far as like moments where we were kind of like, you know we were kind of pushed to the side or given dirty looks or anything like that. The women were very kind, very feminine in their nature. You know, yeah, and I mean, again, the women are, they're beautiful, and the thing is, the women also, they're very traditional in how they kind of conduct themselves too. Very women, like, as far as how they dress, how they speak, how they address to, certain males, right, in particular men. Um, and you pretty much do see that kind of play out or happen in real time in society, is the women, how they conduct themselves, and again, the men conduct themselves a certain way, but the women, um, yeah, I mean, they carry themselves like women do, right? Um, if we're being honest, right now in the Western world, right, and if we're talking more about, certain cities, certain regions of the U.S., or even as far as UK or Europe, or Australia, is that those trends are kind of changing. Whereas women, they're not kind of, they feel like they're not bound to their feminine roles anymore, or just being women, right? Because there's, 10 genders, or there's, this many pronouns and that stuff, and that does not exist in Paraguay. That still is not a thing. I mean, as far as my understanding is, the society is, they know, is that there's men, there's women, and women historically in Paraguay play a very important role, from what I was told, in Paraguayan history, right? In regards to even the Triple Alliance, right? That we got a bit of a history crash course on, during our time there, was that the women were the ones that uplifted the country after the Triple Alliance war. So women are really respected in the country, and you see that. You pretty much do see that, throughout, pretty much most places you go. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else more to say, but really, the women, again, they're beautiful. My dad, at times, he was almost breaking his neck. At times, I was like, "Hey, dad, like," right? So, and we would kind of joke like, "Oh wow, like the women here are very attractive, very graceful, like," and also, I believe, because of the mix of the bloodline in Paraguay, you have Paraguayans that they all don't look really alike. They have sort of a mixed mestizo look, whether like, white European, or sort of brown, kind of mestizo, indigenous looking, like kind of a mix, really a mix of it all. Um, but yeah, I mean, from our experience, just being out and about in places that we were at, just places that we went, if we went out to see the football game Thursday night, right? Paraguay against Chile, or when we were out, um, going for a restaurant for some dinner, for lunch with Simon and Ryan. Um, it was a pleasant experience. And my dad got to see that firsthand. Um, but yeah, I will say that the women are very beautiful in Paraguay. So
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, before I touch on that, I know that okay, before we even make too many people mad, the thing is like we understand, right, on a deep level that men and women in our Western countries are suffering immensely economically. We understand that it's not always possible to have a traditional household where we're from in the States, UK, etc. So we understand that. All we're talking about is the what's the word? Uh, Jesus, that God, I can't even think of a word that's not a how people act, right? I was going to put another word to it. And Paraguayan women, this is a historical, traditional thing that they act more ladylike, right? How your grandmother would have acted, right? Oh, and believe me, they can be feisty Latinas. Believe me, I know that firsthand, over and over and over again. Um, but even like I brought up, even when I haven't worked out with girls, even the experiences I've had have been so pleasant, so pleasant, and like just their feminine nature is so. Uh, I mean, I've been here for 9 months, but if you haven't experienced it, like it's something that you might never experience in your life if you do not step out of your Western country. If you do not step out of the USA or Canada or the UK or Australia, etc. And that's like for me and Aaron, we're a little bit more used to it even before we started traveling because Aaron is Hispanic. His family is Hispanic. I didn't grow up with a Hispanic family. I grew up adopted, but my friend group was Hispanic, and I already kind of knew Hispanic culture even before I came to Paraguay. But for some people who Paraguay might be your first Hispanic Latin American country, it could be a real, I guess, eye opener to how it's almost like you step back in time, decades, right?
yeah,
And believe me, there's the modern modernity and the Instagram babies and all that stuff too. But that's mostly the much younger girls. And even then, I talk about this that even though there is that element to society, everybody has the internet, everybody has social media, everybody, there's lots of people, lots of women are on dating apps. I wouldn't even say it's the majority, but even with all of that, because people still depend on community and family, there's still more a sense of, I guess, what would be the word? A
there's
sense
a
of responsibility to
responsibility.
yeah, and also geez, what's the other word? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But I guess to see your family well, to carry a good image, so you're not shaming your family.
Yeah,
That also goes with our religion here. We're a very, very Catholic country, extremely Catholic, like per
yeah,
capita, like 90%. Right now, again, that depends. Like, not everybody go to church all the time, but uh, we're God fearing people here as well, right? On the individual level, it might play out a little bit different, but on the societal level, um, it's interesting, right? So when you go to or when you live in the U.S., for example, when accountability, that's the word I was looking for earlier, right? Like for your actions. A lot of times people move around lots of different towns and cities and states in the U.S. So you could be a completely different person in this city or have a college experience, then go back to your hometown, or then maybe work in this town and then go back here, and then you're just kind of all over the place. But the majority of Paraguayans are, especially if they date local or even if they date foreigners, right? They have an accountability to their family, to their image, to the community, and they don't want to put out a bad image, right? Even some of the faster girls or some of the more party girls, etc. Right, and I don't see that in the U.S. right to that degree. Maybe in some of the smaller towns, maybe, but even then, it's not the same. right? Because Paraguay has a culture. Paraguay has an actual culture. America is a new country. It doesn't have an actual culture. It has American culture. It's a mix of a bunch of different things. But American culture is uh pretty much get your money, individualism, and capitalism. There's subcultures in America, but as far as like one solid culture to the country does not exist, right? And the last thing I will say about the women thing is people are the culture, right? The culture flows through people. That's one of the things I brought up in my dating video, right? That like the culture flows through the women. It flows through the men, but it flows through the women, right? So they are representatives. They are ambassadors of the culture of the country, right? So when you talk to your average American guy, and then you ask about American ladies, not literally a handful might say, "Oh, wow, this is a wonderful experience. They're so gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful to be around. You should marry them." Here, guess what? I have a sister and a few cousins, and I'll invite you to our friend group, and it's going to be a great time. There's multiple options. Come to the family barbecue, etc. That doesn't happen in America. That happens in Paraguay, though. The men will tell you, cab drivers will tell you, "Hey, you got a Paraguayan girlfriend yet?" Or hey, you just got off the plane. Oh shit. Wait till you see our ladies, or wait till you, you know what I mean? Hey, if you're looking for a girlfriend, if you're not married and so, hey, we got a beautiful woman here. They'll treat you right. You can find a wife here. I mean, I've heard it from every person, except from my family, from every single random person you could think of, right? And in the Western world, guys aren't saying the same thing, but here they are. Locals are saying that about their women, right? So, okay, I'll stop at that before I piss people off. But if you wanna, if you wanna say anything more about that, Aaron, otherwise we can move on to something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm I would pretty much agree that, you know, it's a lot harder right now in the US or in the West for relationships, dating, for marriage. Um, and that's why you see a lot of men, you know, choosing that path because maybe they've tried already. And I'm not saying that it never works out. I mean, I do believe that for some it does, for some it works. But, you know, it's also in regards to culture and society. And obviously in Paraguay, it's a lot different as far as the more of the traditional rules, right? But I think, like Ryan said it, I think we can say without offending too many people is that what pretty much Will said is that, yes, there's that trend happening. And I mean, you're seeing it. I mean, you're seeing it whether in media or you see it in pop culture, movies, music, right? There's, you don't, you're seeing a lot, you've been seeing that a lot in the Western media. But still in some parts of the world, like in Paraguay, it's not to that extent. And that's why, you know, historically and socially, the women are that way, right? They're more protective of who they are, how they represent themselves, you know, to their family, to their communities, and to the country, right? So, but I think well said by Ryan that that's in regards to what he was explaining to that. So,
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. We're kind of getting up here, think here, close to an hour, so we've talked about quite a bit. This has been a more of a humanist, just things that you can't measure out, right? But things that you feel, right? And anybody can hop on Google and Chat GPT will tell you all the motherfucking statistics of the world, in a fucking heartbeat. AI will lay out everything and your fucking plan for the rest of your life and stats and everything. But what AI can't give you is personal accounts of how you were received,
or the human experience, right?
the experience, where you feel at home, right? Where you feel welcomed, where you feel that you can start a new life somewhere. And it's not going to be a dangerous third world cartel ridden uh uh you're gonna get drugged 4 days out of the fucking 7 days of the week, and oh my god, you're gonna come back in a body bag. And no, this is a very pleasant country, you guys.
Very
And
nice.
my channel gets less traction than it should, right? Because I, I sometimes I either offend people or I bore people sometimes when I do these longer videos. Some people don't have the capacity to listen to a conversation like this, right? But you know, yeah, I could go downtown and film every single nightclub, and you guys would love it. But the thing is that would be a bad representation of the country. This is exactly why we do these more profound conversations, right? Me and Aaron and I've broken down the cost of living, residency 10,000 times over. We'll do another video on that. Aaron's time here getting residency, right? But I wanted this to be more of just a person to person, brother to brother kind of conversation. Because yeah, man, Aaron's one of my great best friends, man. I can say that like truly.
Thank to you, man. I mean, uh, the last night that we had, the fortune, we had the privilege to have that last dinner. Um, yeah, part of me kind of did hurt that I was gonna leave because I was just like, man, like these last 3 weeks had flew by literally. Like every day was just something new. Somewhere to go, people to meet, experiences to have. That last dinner was it was really a beautiful seal to our friendship, to your channel, um, to your family, to your country, to your countrymen. Um, yeah, I mean it was a little bit hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, hours after that, man, like, you know, what an experience, what a trip, what a great friend at the end of the day too. Because aside from all this, the channel and everything, I mean, as you guys probably can tell by now, this is our fourth interview. We're really great friends. I mean, we've connected a lot through our uh, personal struggles, through our challenges that we have, through our triumphs as well. His triumphs are almost, I feel like they're mine, and mine are his in a sense too. Um, but it's been a beautiful friendship that we've had. And just crazy to think that literally, through technology, through the internet, that I was searching something, and I know he was right starting his channel, that I had found him because I had found his channel. And I'm just I'm so blessed to have him as a close friend, and to have him, from here on out for my lifetime. So I think Brian for that, for him opening his arms and like bringing his family in, and my dad and I having that privilege, because I don't think many people would ever have that experience or that privilege to have those connections and have those moments, right? Those precious moments. And we had a lot of those moments for sure. My dad and I with Ryan and his family. So I thank Ryan for that. And like I said, that last night was, it was a beautiful night. We went to O Gaucho. That was one of the restaurants we went to. And, you know, my dad wanted to invite, you and your sister. So my dad is a very giving person, just like it just comes from him. It's in his DNA for him to just be giving. And at times I'm like, wow, like, hey, like he wants to pay for everyone, right? But I mean, I think that was really from the heart, from the corazon, that we really wanted to have that special dinner and just everything, just the whole experience we had in general. So I thank Ryan for that, for everything. So
No, man, I thank you too. Man, because I meet a lot of people, man, but I was waiting for Simon, but then for you to show up and your pops, right? And yeah, we had a great time, man. That last day, but like pretty much every time that we got together, it was something really cool. You got to see a lot more about authentic Paraguay's lifestyle. That I'm telling you that like people can live here for fucking 5 years and they won't get even half the experiences that you had in 3 weeks.
yeah,
talking to people, seeing certain neighborhoods, me taking you to certain family members' houses, seeing how people really live. You know what I mean? So, it's good shit, brother. Yeah,
yeah.
man. Yeah, I love polo too.
My
The
dad
famous, infamous polo.
Miss Polo. And the funny
Cheers,
thing is,
pops.
he kept my dad's. And we didn't mention it here in this conversation, but my dad's icebreaker was him telling people simply that he was Mexican, and he would pull out his Mexican soccer jersey, and that was already it. You know, the pictures that we took, like all over the place, restaurants. We went to the karaoke bar with your family. It was awesome just saying that. And it actually made me feel at home too, because it was almost like a kinship, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Manos, oh, desde allá vienen lejos, you know? And it was beautiful. Like, you can't put a price on those kinds of moments. You cannot put a dollar sign on it. Like, it fills you with happiness, with joy. And yeah, my dad was just getting used to, he got really comfortable doing that, right? Right, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm telling you, his dad is famous in 3 weeks. Like, if he would have started a TikTok, his dad would have been the most followed dude down here.
For real.
But seriously, so like I explained in the beginning, right? Paraguayans love for Mexico, and if you guys don't know this as well, people who can afford it, hire mariachi bands, even down here in Paraguay, for birthday parties and stuff, right? So that's what I'm talking about, right? So like when a Mexican comes, like, and then he has a jersey, dude. I mean, there is bouncers. You know what? Aaron and his dad went to a fucking restaurant over here in San Lorenzo. The entire staff cleared out of the fucking back kitchen, and what were there, like fucking 7 or 8 of the entire staff working there that afternoon just to
It
want to
was
take
like,
a picture with the soccer jersey. And so go on my Instagram, and if you don't know, Aaron's Instagram is Aaron a Aquipua.
yeah.
But if you can't find him, he's linked all over mine. If you can't find my best like Paraguay. But yeah,
I'm
check
gonna
out
put,
photos. We'll be posting more photos too. There's so many photos that we haven't even posted yet. I'll be
yeah,
posting when I like do more videos or like on the content, but whatever. But Aaron's has a lot more photos too. So check it out. Also go subscribe to Aaron's channel, you guys, if you stuck in here this long. The Hispanic expat, on his life, right? He's doing a lot of similar things to me, but he's doing also different things, right? But yeah, I won't make this too long because I think we're coming up. Yeah, we're right at the hour mark, I think. So good, and yeah, man, you're a great friend, and this has been a cool journey, right? For myself, for Aaron, like this past year plus a couple months. Aaron, I'll just say also sacrificed a lot. That's what a lot of people don't understand.
yeah,
That like, and I always did too. Every single time I even visited down here, I did not fuck around and go to Miami, Florida, New York City, even Chicago, which was close to me. I didn't fuck around to go to Las Vegas or Los Angeles when a lot of people wanted me to bounce around and visit all these people. Oops. I saved all of my vacation time to have a good 3 to 4 week vacation here in Paraguay. Eventually, I got my cedula as well, just like Aaron did. But it takes a lot of sacrifice to come halfway across the earth to be able to do this, right? This is not for the weak minded. This is not for people who don't know what sacrifice means and looks like and plays out in actions. This is something for somebody serious who wants to come here, get residency. If you want to get any sort of expedited residency service, it's going to be around $2,000. If I'm here on the ground, I can help you with that. Help Aaron out. We're going to talk about that in a different video. But Aaron's taking all the right steps to set himself up for the best life that he can possibly have, for retirement later, but for a good life in between, right? The plan A, not the plan B route, right?
yeah,
I understand there's plan B elements, right? You might have to go back or whatever, work for a while, but the plan A overall is to sacrifice a little bit now so you can at least live a little bit now as a younger man or in your middle ages before you hit retirement, right?
yeah.
So yeah, you guys, I mean, It was a real privilege to meet him and his pops, and hopefully the rest of your family too.
Yeah.
Um, I will say too, just lastly, me and Aaron have talked about this, but like I want the people who are in Aaron's circle who might be listening to this to learn from Aaron, right? Realize what he's done. Talk to him on a deep level and realize the lonely days he's had, the times where he looks at fucking house prices in California, just like I was looking at the my in my county in Wisconsin, and we're like, we can never do this. You know, we have to figure out another route. And so recognize Aaron's sacrifices, recognize what he's done, recognize the time he's given up, the lonely nights he's had, in order to come and do a 3 week trip, get residency, and have a great fucking time. On top of that, right? Because this is he's setting himself up for the rest of his life. So learn from Aaron. Hit me up as well if you want specifics, but hit Aaron up first. You guys can hit me up too. But I want Aaron's circle to learn, and there's some chance that some people from my circle back home, friends or family, cousins, anybody back home in the USA is watching this. Hit me up too, right? There could be a good chance that a couple of years from now, I'm not helping people with residency anymore. It could be more complicated, much more costly. Things could change geopolitically. Maybe the US doesn't allow anybody to fucking leave. Who the fuck knows? We have no idea, right? So you guys need to get on it now. This is more urgent than ever. It's cost of living, it's inflation, it's retirement, but it's also urgent politically. It's also more urgent for you guys to do this now before the host country like Paraguay makes it more complicated, costly, etc. And get on it, you guys. And I know that maybe you don't have all the vacation time. Maybe you don't have all the money. But if you tell me, or if you tell Aaron, hey, Aaron, I want, look at, you inspired me. I want you to give me a 2 to 3 year path to do what you did. Please help me, brother. Lay out these steps, and I can do the same on my end, right? Because me and Aaron might be in different, doing different stuff 5 years from now. You know what I mean? So get on it now, you guys. Hit us up now. Don't wait. Let Aaron know. Hit me up for consultations too, you guys. I do them. When people hit me up, go down the description if you want to know pricing, all that stuff. Fair pricing. I don't fuck you guys over. We don't do no guru shit here on My Best Life Paraguay. You know what I mean? So anyways, if you have any last words for us, Aaron, otherwise we'll just close it out.
Last words, I mean, you pretty much summed it up. I mean, I shared that with Ryan too, is, we can only tell people so much or share our experiences unless they want to know. But, I think, I was just thinking as you were explaining and expressing, is that it's better to take action on something today than yesterday, right? That makes sense. I'm trying to remember the exact saying. In other words, get your hands on it, get your butt on it, because these kinds of things is going to start getting harder. And just like Ryan was preaching, I feel the same way, and my channel, although I haven't been as active on it, that's kind of the things that I talk about is you got to get on it, because the next thing that happens, like 2020 happened, it's probably right around the corner, right? And you want to set yourself up for a position where you have options and you don't put all your eggs in one basket. And that seems to be the trend, that people think that everything's safe, that, I have this, I have that. But just kind of take a moment, open your eyes a little bit. And it might not be a permanent thing, but you have that. And then again, it might give you some inspiration, right? If you're more of that entrepreneurial person, you start a business, you do real estate, you do whatever, right? But get your hands on it, take action now, because these opportunities, they're only going to be around for so long. So those are my last words, Ryan, for the video. Again, thank you, Ryan, for everything. Reach out to him. He does consultations. You guys, I'm just starting out. I'm just a person. You can reach out to me if you're really serious about it. I'm pretty much an open book when it comes to these things. And we'll go ahead and end it there, right? So
For sure. No, thank you, man. Thank you, man. You're gonna put me in tears, man. Jesus Christ. God damn it, Aaron, you did it again. You're
Talk
making
again.
me cry. God, this must be the fifth or sixth time, Aaron. I just fuck with
Enough of these
you.
tears.
Look at my audience like, oh my God, what the fuck? Who the fuck? Okay, okay. They're right. Okay, okay, okay. Hold it together. Hold it together, bruh. Okay. No, seriously. No, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I won't even say no more than that. Otherwise, again, go follow Aaron, the Hispanic expat. Stay up on his life, you guys.
Saying more soon in the coming months, in the coming weeks, coming months, guaranteed. I'll be following up with more content for sure.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do more specific topics. But yeah, want to keep this free flow tonight, like normal. Yeah, we're getting off here, guys. But yeah, if you're not if you stayed in here this long and you're not subscribed to my channel, please, for the love of God, subscribe to my channel. And Aaron's as well. But for the love of Christ, please subscribe to my channel. Ryan Aranda, my best life Paraguay, Aaron Equihua, the Hispanic expat. We're out of here, guys. Take care of yourselves and get inspired and then fucking move abroad. If it's not for now, make it be for later for a good future. All right? Don't hit me up in your fucking way, 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 way later in life and be like, Ryan, I didn't listen to you. Aaron, I didn't listen to you. Do it now. Do it now. All right, you guys, we're out of here. Peace.